The stories that define hip-hop culture. You're now locked in to the Terminator Xperience podcast, where hip-hop history meets the culture right now. Hosted by DJ DVS and Minor, alongside the legendary Terminator X. We're talking classic moments, untold stories, and the voices that shape the game. Straight from the source. No filters, no filler, just real conversations and real hip-hop. Turn it up. This is the Terminator Xperience podcast.
Check 1 2 1 2.
What we gonna call this?
What we gonna call this show?
Oh, how the fuck you do a podcast?
There you go.
There it is. The intro. Welcome to another edition of the Terminator Xperience podcast. That's my man Terminator X. That's my man Minor, and that's our guest tonight, the one and only Professor Griff. Give it up one time, y'all. How you do a podcast? Exactly.
All right.
All right. Once again, you good, my friend? You ready?
I'm good, man.
We're gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
Once again, we appreciate your patience, man.
Nah, no problem, man. Like I said, I'm older now, so you understand what I'm saying? A little bit more settled, a lot more mature. You understand what I'm saying? And wrestling with those things. You know, I always say to myself, and I think I said it in a few other interviews, I'm not trying to be or become the demon I'm trying to destroy.
Gotcha.
I'm trying not to become that dude I don't fucking like. You understand what I'm saying? So
There you go.
I want to be able to like me.
So me and you, yourself and I, excuse me, trying to be proper. We from the same town, Roosevelt, Long Island, New York. So I know, we both at some point joined Spectrum.
Right.
So tell us about the beginning of the Spectrum. Most people don't know that you were one of the founders of Spectrum.
Yeah, so it was me, Hank Shockley, Keith Shockley, Jerry J. Remember Jerry J? Fat Dre.
From Westbury?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Dre was down. Jerry J was down. Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 of us at that time. You understand what I'm saying? And
wow.
We used to see Chuck in some cases in the audience.
Yeah, I know that part.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but I think a lot of people, when they get the Def Jam version of how this thing came about, it was always from the Chuck D.
See, this is history. This is history. It
was from the Chuck D perspective, but nah, I mean, we used to ask people to come up on the mic to do certain things, and when Chuck came up, it was like, you know, they used to say the fucking voice of God took the goddamn mic, you understand? And it commanded people's attention, but he wasn't necessarily in Spectrum at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They had the thing with on WBAU. You understand what I'm saying? At the college. So,
but that was not during the Spectrum days, though. Not in the beginning, anyway.
Not in the beginning. No. Yeah. But a lot of things were almost running parallel.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I was always doing Unity Force, because I always had students training in martial arts and that kind of thing. So a lot of things were all happening at the same time. It wasn't one thing happened, then that happened, then this happened.
Yeah. So when did you leave Spectrum? Because when I started, you weren't going.
Yeah, but that was early on. Because you kind of figure, I went to the military and came back. You understand what I'm saying? So I was doing the Spectrum thing, went to the military as military police, ended up working in prison. You understand what I'm saying? And that speaks to I think some of the rough times that I had in Spectrum and in doing other things, because that military shit and working in prison with hardcore criminals, that shit hardens you, man.
Right.
I'm sure.
And shit, I'm 65 now, but my ass was like 19.
Wow.
Looking like I was 14. Having to fucking fight grown men. You understand what I'm saying? So that kind of does something to you. You understand what I'm saying? So tell us how you started Unity Force. Unity Force came out of this whole idea of the Black Belt Union, Kasugan Karate, you know, just kind of having that small martial arts club. I combined that with what I already knew from what I learned from the Nation of Islam and combined it and started a security force that everybody knew martial arts, and we studied. So that's how that thing came about. And we was just kind of studying, doing martial arts training and that kind of thing. So when we needed security to secure the gigs, It was just simple. We just kind of merged it and made it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So what gigs did you secure for who?
Man, we was at the Korean Ballroom. Was one of the main ones, man. If you was anybody, you DJ'd and came to the Korean Ballroom. We brought so many people through the Korean Ballroom, and then and other gigs around Long Island. Yeah.
So I say one day you recruited me. I didn't know nothing about security. It's like you told me. Let me see if you remember what did you told me when you told me when you recruited me for the one gig. I'll tell you because you probably don't remember. He was like you told me he was like just stand there and look. Just stand there and look hard.
Well, shit, that was part of it.
and it worked. And it worked. I just stood there and tried to blend in with the security. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Anywho. So moving on.
Well, let me just finish what I was saying in reference.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Things running parallel and everything was kind of merging. So a lot of times when you have your quote unquote expertise and you do what you do and you're known for doing that, you kind of play that role. But I was already a DJ in high school.
Right.
And people didn't know me for the martial arts thing.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? I was working on a 2nd degree, 3rd degree black belt by the time I came back from the military and everything was happening. I was already there, already a DJ. I was already in bands when I was in the military.
Okay.
Yeah, so
what did you play when you were in the bands?
Oh man, I was a drummer.
Oh, funky drummer.
And then before that, how I knew Chuck and Flavor was from the African American Experience that was put on at Hofstra University by Black Panthers.
Wow.
Where we got our rites of passage. We came into manhood during that experience, and I was already a percussion player. That's how come I learned how to play these instruments, these African instruments, and I still do it today. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just a bit of history.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the first song that we kind of got together and put out was in Miss Boxley's basement. We did an acetate. What was the name of the damn song? We just did a remix of one. It'll come to me in a minute, but it had a lot of percussions in it, man.
So Miss Boxley is the mom of Hank. Hank and Keith. Shockley. Which now is Shockley, but
okay,
right.
I don't. Their last name used to be Boxley. Now it's Shockley. But,
right.
So people know. Yeah.
So I've always kind of knew them, man. You understand what I'm saying? And we always had a kind of close bond.
Cool.
Right. Yep.
So when Public Enemy came about, tell us about the connection with you and the creation of the S1Ws.
So already having the skills in martial arts, always kind of looked upon as doing that security thing. They overlooked the fact that I was a DJ, so I just kind of like, okay, well, this is the role I need to play in it. This is what they need me to do. Cool. I don't think Chuck really realized. I don't think you either, Norm, that my ass failed 9th grade math. So when they made me the road manager, I was scratching my head. Then at the same time, having to be the choreographer to put together the show, I was like all over the place.
Yeah.
Wow. I just kind of stepped up and did what I could do. Was it a lot of pressure? Yeah. Half the time that I have to fucking wing it? Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Because I went to hip hop shows before, not a lot, but I kind of figured I knew I wanted this thing to look like. So the license plates with the S1W thing, with the Uzis and all that kind of shit, with the Black Panther uniforms, I already knew that. That was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. You understand what I'm saying? So the Unity Force, I just took the members that I thought that was most loyal. They were the ones that became the S1Ws, not the S1Ws you see today.
Yeah.
The first two S1Ws was Brother Ben and Dwayne.
Right.
Yeah. That was the original ones. That's on the Beastie Boys tour. I remember that.
Right, exactly. Those were the original two S1Ws. Then the other ones that you see today, they came a little bit later on. You understand what I'm saying?
Brother James Baum, Little James, as we call him.
Roger.
Brother Roger, absolutely.
And Mike. But Mike came on as S1W and then became the road manager.
Yeah.
But through all those particular relationships, I was friends with James Bond. We used to train together. Little James was my student.
That's right. That's right.
Pop Diesel, he was my martial arts instructor. So
Yep.
we all had relationships. You understand? Then brother Roger, you couldn't. When you saw me, you saw Roger. We were like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the dude that spent the night at your house and ate grits with you in the morning. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were tight like that. So we all had friendships and we all kind of worked with one another. Yeah. So I just kind of brought Unity Force over to the Public Enemy thing.
So when you first introduced the S1Ws, how do you think the crowd took it as far as just, that was totally different? Like, how you think people took it when they first saw it?
They didn't take it. They was like, "What the fuck?" Because they were used
but it was so unique, though, man.
But so let me interject here, if I may. So a disastrous. So I don't know if it's the first night. I think it was the first night of the tour, on a Def Jam tour. Hank Shockley had the bright idea of playing that "Wham" from Hugging Him One through the whole show. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was intentional. Hank and Chuck did that.
Yeah, and then they saw these guys with the Uzis, and the crowd was like, "What the hell's going on? Are we under attack?"
But Chuck did that on purpose because
I know he did on purpose, but it went on. And I remember Leor, your best friend Leor Cohen, coming into the dressing room and was like, "What the hell? What the hell happened?" And it was like, "Yeah, we meant to do that." It's like, well, it was a disaster because people was like. It was too much. It was too much.
It was too much. But it worked because we got some kind of headline. Because if we would have did a regular show, they wouldn't have wrote about us.
Yeah, but we never did it again. So I say it classifies it didn't work.
They think they called the one trick pony. That motherfucker, one trick. That was it.
But once it gelled together and people got it, once Public Enemy became more known. It was respected. It was a part of it was part of Public Enemy. Right. It was an integral part of Public Enemy. Yeah.
I don't want to sound negative, but the idea of having two dancers was that was a no.
Yeah.
We had two soldiers.
Yeah.
Right.
And it got people's attention. So it worked. Like Terminator said, when it gelled together, it worked. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dougie Fresh furthered it along by saying, like, look, it looks cool, but they need to be doing something. Doing some drills or something, and that's when y'all started drilling.
That's when I introduced what I learned from the Nation of Islam. Yep. I combined that with the martial arts. So now I had them moving, doing kicks, punches, spinning. You understand what I'm saying? Then sometimes we would drill. You understand what I'm saying? We would post up, b-boy stands, the whole bit. So I incorporated that all together. Now I'm not no choreographer. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? But I kind of felt this is what we need to be doing because of what Dougie Fresh was saying we should critique in our show.
And it worked.
You worked.
So it worked well.
Right. It worked really well. So much so that when one of his DJs got sick, I used to DJ for Dougie Fresh.
Wow. Okay. That's news to me.
Yeah, I used to DJ for Dougie Fresh.
Nice.
Okay. I would like to ask you something. When you look back at hip hop compared to the 80s and early 90s, what do you think has changed through the times?
The whole idea of treating hip hop like the culture that it is, that has changed. We don't treasure it anymore. Like even coming on now and just sitting and being patient to work through the technical stuff that we needed to work through to make it happen. They don't do that no more. They would have been gone, man. Mm-hmm. They'd have been like, yo, y'all hit me over the goddamn tomorrow, my neck, be patient, man. We got it. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have that anymore. Everything is 140 characters. Everything is swiping away. And this kind of soft drink ass music that they have out now, fast food music. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can eat it just as fast as you can get a meal from McDonald's. They don't have any patience at all. They don't treasure it and value it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I heard somebody say recently, it says, yo, man, you realize, Professor Griff is here? They're like, who? Oh, the dude from NWA. I'm like, bruh.
Wow.
No. And then, that's right, EPMD. No, bro. I'm like, and I'm the Professor Griff that they talking to, but they don't know it's me.
Wow. Yeah.
So to sit down and to have a conversation and kind of bring them up to date, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't really think too many people have actually done that. We passed something down to them without giving them the history of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the technology is moving so fast, they think,
it's like microwave. They want it right now.
They want right, exactly.
I've heard comedians say that, like they'll stand on stage and tell a joke, and they're like, haha, like, all right, nigga, what's the next joke? You know what I'm saying? Like, not letting it even soak in. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want the jokes back to back. Haha, all right, what's next, nigga?
Let it marinate.
Yeah.
They don't even give a chance to let it. For example, you see a lot of hip hop artists or rap artists. Let me get that right. Rap artists that don't know the history of hip hop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
And don't respect it either. It's not that. It's not only do they not know it, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care.
The legacy of black music is something that they didn't get. But that's a very good question, simply because it's missing today, and we knew that back in the day. As much as I didn't like the 8-track, I listened to them goddamn 8 songs over and over.
You had no choice.
Exactly. But you see, now they got a choice, Norm, because they got this. You understand what I'm saying? And they got 1,000 songs. Yeah. As opposed to the 8 that I knew. And then the cassette, what you get? 10, 15 songs along with vinyl. Mm-hmm. And then now the digital downloads and
the radio,
the CDs. Yeah. So they hip hop didn't do them a disservice. They're doing a disservice to rap, which is come up under the umbrella.
Hip-hop. Yeah.
So what would you tell a new artist of today to do better with his future in rap?
I would basically ask them, have you taken the time to perfect your craft? Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when the lights are out, see, the beautiful thing about me and Terminator X, we didn't necessarily have to come on stage and become. We were these individuals on and off. You understand what I'm saying? Terminator X speaks with his hands. That's what he naturally is. If he's a quiet brother to himself, centered and grounded, know what he's doing, perfected his craft, then you don't have to put that on. I don't have to put my militancy on, my radical shit. I don't have to put that on. Shit, I walk in any room. That's just who I am. You understand? I'm a studious individual. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, I think between me and Soleil, I think we probably have about 3,000 books. I don't know too many people's libraries like that. You understand what I'm saying? Wow. I'm here in the studio where you're seeing musical equipment, but it's fucking bookshelves. You understand what I'm saying? I don't go into many people's studios where you got bookshelves. Okay, there's some firearms and shit over there, but don't pay no attention to that.
Yeah, okay. All right. So just for the people that don't, let everybody know who Soleil is.
Soleil was an artist in the 90s, and I met Soleil when she was about 15. We was cool. Me and her dad was cool. And we got married 9 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? Beautiful sister, beautiful artist, right? Perfects her craft. You understand what I'm saying? Knows her craft. You understand what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I did a whole EP with her. Simply because we wanted to value the legacy of black music.
Right.
Let me test y'all real quick. Name each one of y'all. Give me an artist, a husband and wife team that made songs together.
Ooh.
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
You cheated on that one.
I cheated.
Who else?
That's an easy one. Oh, I don't know.
Salt and Pepper. Pepper and Tretch.
They didn't make records together.
Oh, they didn't make no records together.
Nah.
I mean, but they were.
Well, they wasn't even, I don't think they was ever married. They just dated.
Ike and Tina before it went left.
Ike and Tina. Ike and Tina. There you go.
See, but my thing is, being a part of that history, this is something that we should know. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So real quick, so you didn't mention, like most folks will know, Soleil, was it Trick Daddy, right?
No. She married Genuine.
No. The song she did.
Money. It was JT.
That's what Trick Daddy.
No.
JT Money.
Oh, JT Money. I'm sorry. My apologies. I didn't know that. JT Money. Then
who that, man?
Oh, who that? Oh, damn, I'm all messed up tonight. I'm mixing all kinds of songs together.
So she did the song "Who That," which became really, really, really popular.
Who that?
She did 4, 5, 6, and a couple of other songs. Yeah.
My apologies.
And,
I messed it up.
Yeah, I want to ask you another thing, right? With your knowledge of books and your years of experience, you being a martial artist and all that, like, could you tell the kids of today, like, don't drop out of school, stay in school? Because a lot of these kids, they think that rap is for everybody, and I don't think it's not. So what do you say about that?
I think when we started making this bubblegum candy wrapper kind of rap, anybody with a laptop and Fruity Loops thought they were a producer, and so anybody with a microphone thought they was an MC or rapper, not even an MC. They didn't know what an MC was.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? So the whole idea of bringing something other than what you think you have as far as talent is concerned. Talent is one part of it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You still have to know how to damn read and write to construct some songs. You still got to know some idea of music theory. I'm not saying you got to get in and you got to know chord progression and all that kind of stuff, but you have to know something, not only about music and how to construct songs, but how about the music business?
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So even if you do get a lawyer to look over your contract, you got to know and understand some basic things. You understand what I'm saying? So you still got to read and write. You understand what I'm saying? So if school don't do it for you, homeschool might do it for you. If homeschool don't do it for you, right now, you could go on Perplexity, ChatGPT, and a few other things to get some degree of education to at least learn how to read, write, and articulate yourself. You understand what I'm saying? What you're trying to say, and be very, not very articulate, but just express what you're trying to say in real terms. Because I swear, this idea of a mumble rapper is true. I live in Atlanta. Let me tell you something, bro. You need a goddamn interpreter in Atlanta, man.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's very real. And it's hurting the culture.
What? How do you think we could fix that? Or can it be fixed?
No, it can be fixed. It can be fixed because we are not the ones that's in control of it. We didn't create it. It was given to us. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We nurtured it and understood it and knew what to kind of do with it to get to the point that it's at. But they have to learn how to nurture it. It's not going to be us that's going to fix it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the ones that's coming up that's saying, you know something, we need to bring this. We need to hit the reset button, man. You follow what I'm saying? And that's a very real thing, hitting the reset button, the cultural hip hop reset button. We need to go back and we need to know who some of these people are that brought hip hop to where it is today. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for example, me and Norm was talking today and we was mentioning DJs that we should be giving credit to that help establish hip hop in Brooklyn, not the Bronx, but Brooklyn. So we started talking about the Disco Twins and King Charles and Maboya and Pete DJ Jones and some of these other people. Some of these artists,
King Charles,
and they don't even know who these people are. We talked about the people who built the systems. You understand what I'm saying? The sound systems and this kind of thing. That's very important, man. It's very, very important.
Matter of fact, Professor Griff and I are working on a. Tell us about what we're working on. The show we're working on.
We're working on a show. It's basically the revolutionary look through the lens. We took a historical revolutionary look at hip hop, but from a radical perspective, through a radical kind of. And when I say radical, I don't mean violence. Right. When I say radical, just kind of different. You understand what I'm saying? And what we're doing is we're doing a timeline dealing with the errors in hip hop to help bring people up to speed on where we are now so we can appreciate today. You understand what I'm saying? If you heard Doce, the artist that just came out a few years ago, the female, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you love the story that she told, but you don't know the history of storytellers in hip hop, then come on, man. If you don't know the Dana Danes and Slick Ricks and those people, Jimmy Spicer and other people that told stories, you understand what I'm saying? Then come on. We have to learn how to appreciate the history.
Yep. And that applies to the last question about the young rappers who don't know about.
So that was the thing y'all were doing a few years back when y'all had the videos, right? Okay, yeah. I remember that.
We did it a few times. Well, Detroit, we did it in Charlotte.
Yeah, I went to the one in Charlotte.
Yeah. We're trying to cultivate it over the years, but life happens, and you understand what I'm saying? We're circling back around to revisit it because it's more important now than it was then.
Yes,
very. And everything happens in its own time, in its own season. So maybe it's time for it now. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're closing museums. They're shutting down on the education that we can get. It's funny that you should mention the question about school, because if they're closing museums and shutting down diversity, equity, and inclusion, how are the young people supposed to get anything that's historic? You understand what I'm saying? I'm the national director of the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. We go from city to city, state to state, school to school, and we lay out artifacts and we educate young people about the artifacts. The exhibit that I set up is called Music of the Movement. What music served what movements? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When the revolutionary 60s was going on, what were some of those songs? Mississippi Goddamn. We would respect Marvin Gaye. What's going on? You understand what I'm saying? So by the time the Message with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 happened, we would appreciate it. Right or wrong?
Right. You're absolutely right.
So your question is very, very important in reference to the education, for real.
Yeah, well, speaking of music, so if I was to come hang out with you, what would Professor Griff list? What's on your playlist, my man?
Ooh, right now, to be honest with you, I had to reset. I hit the reset button recently, and I just had to kind of go back and take a 65-year-old listen to some of the songs that my mom and dad and older brothers used to listen to. Like I'm hearing Marvin Gaye in a different kind of way now.
Right. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm hearing some of the artists. I'm hearing Sam Cooke in a different kind of way. There are artists today that are sampling some of the old school artists and don't even know who they're sampling.
Yeah.
When I hear Strange Fruit from Billie Holiday, I'm hearing it in a different kind of way now. So then hearing that stuff, I can appreciate Childish Gambino.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I go back and listen and re-listen with these 65-year-old ears and listen to Parliament Funkadelic, I can appreciate Outkast. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, totally.
I wasn't with the blonde wigs and the outlandish furs and all this kind of stuff Andre Three Stacks was doing, but I appreciated it because it's art, it's culture, and he just showed up as his true, authentic self. But if I didn't know Parliament Funkadelic, I'd look at him like he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there when the dude came up on stage with his diaper. I'm like, God damn, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. As you get older, that's a fact. As you get older, stuff you even grew up with that you didn't fully understand at the time, at an old age, you go back and look at it and you can further understand it. For example, cartoons, Looney Tunes.
Right.
Like when we were kids, we used to watch Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, Foghorn Leghorn, the list goes on. But you didn't know what the conversations was really about. Tell the truth. You just laughing because they bumping somebody over the head,
right,
or throwing them off the cliff. But if you go back and listen to Looney Tunes now, it's a whole lot of adult conversation going on that you didn't understand as a child. So it's the same thing with the music. When you was younger, we heard, like when we were younger, we heard Smokey Robinson, whoever it is, Stylistics, and we didn't totally understand. But as you're older, you totally understand. So you can appreciate it even more.
Exactly. I didn't know Popeye was on drugs. I didn't know the spinach he was eating.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know.
Pepe Le Pew, he trying to get the cat.
Was trying to help him out. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you were a key voice behind the message of Public Enemy. What do you think made the group's message so powerful during its Public Enemy's heyday?
More so than a key voice, there were certain places that I was fitted in that kind of gave some dynamics to it. But I think more so the spirit of what we was representing.
Yes.
And I always say, me, Terminator X, Chuck D, S1W's, Bomb Squad, Flavor Flav, we all contributed in making something and a part of something that's a lot larger than the individual. And I'm proud to be a part of it.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot larger than me, man.
That's right. I'm glad you said it, because that's important to me, because we've all, some of us, we're not gonna go into it, but some of us we've had our discrepancies in the group.
Mm-hmm.
But myself, and speaking for myself, I feel like the legacy is more important than all the BS.
Yes.
And like, I'm pretty sure you've had these experiences, and you can share. I can't tell you how many people came up to me, man, if it wasn't for you guys, I'd be dead or in jail.
Exactly.
And that means more to me than any of the BS. So that's why I try to keep it positive.
Veggie, backing off of what you just said, I've actually visited the people that was in jail, you understand what I'm saying, and did lose their life. The prison work that we did in Public Enemy, the other stuff that a lot of people just don't know. You understand what I'm saying? That should be in some documentary film somewhere, told by us though, not told by some people on the periphery looking at us. How about told by us? Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we lived that life. When we got the threats, a lot of people didn't know. You understand what I'm saying?
Nope.
We had to deal with that traveling through the South and other places.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. The nasty notes left on the dressing room door in certain countries.
Stage crew that refused to work.
Exactly.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
So if people only knew that, they would probably appreciate us a lot more. So it wasn't all peaches and cream, man. People think
not
it was
at all.
A goddamn pop group. No, man.
Not at all.
It was hard to establish what we established to educate the masses of our people, man. That was work.
Yep. So, do you think it's the responsibility of the new rappers? I'm not gonna say hip hop, but I feel like the new rappers. I hate to say it, but maybe I'm being old. I feel like they're not hip hop; they're just rappers. But do you feel it's important for the new generation to carry on political messages to better society and our people and everybody's people?
Well, my thing is, I think, and I know this may sound kind of crazy, and y'all could, it's all about responsibility. Producers, radio people, goddamn hype man and the dancers. You understand what I'm saying? It's all our responsibility now, because they may not have access to a Griff and Terminator X, but they may have access to y'all too. Y'all see the young people in y'all environments. You understand?
That's
Andre
right.
3000 said something recently when they received their award. He's basically said all this started in small rooms.
That's right.
In small rooms. These discussions started in small rooms with a few people. It wasn't the masses. There was a few people having a discussion, and it spread to the masses.
Yep.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they may not ever meet me in Terminator, but y'all have access to some of these young people. You understand what I'm saying? You know how many people, moms and dads and uncles, call me like, yo, man, seriously, man, can you speak to my nephew? You understand what I'm saying? Because, he got an ankle bracelet on and they're monitoring him. I don't want him to, go back to jail. Can you just have a word with him? It's my duty and responsibility to just stop for a minute to lend a word to that young man, because somebody did it for me. You understand what I'm saying? But they may not have access to me. They may have access to some of the people I know. Right. Some of the people that helped me produce a song or even write a song. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about responsibility.
So I get mad.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
I get mad. Like, I heard a lot of people talking about, I'm not going to name any names, but I try to keep the show positive as I can. But some people saying, well, entertainers need to stay out of politics, or they need to shut up, talk about sports or entertainment, and stay out of politics. I get mad, I get angry when I hear that, because I disagree wholeheartedly. I mean, that's like saying, I just think that's egregious. That's how things get changed. That's how things get changed.
Exactly.
If you got people listening to you, you need to use that platform to educate people.
That's what Nina Simone said. If you're an artist, it's your duty and responsibility to educate the masses, to speak up for your people. Because if we have this platform, you got to say something for the people. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So you're right. It's our duty and our responsibility. But I'm not, and we should not put that on young people that don't have a clue.
No. yeah, I agree. If you don't know, if you're not into that kind of stuff, that's fine. But if you do, for somebody to tell you, if you are knowledgeable in that kind of stuff, for somebody to tell you, oh, you need to shut up and just talk about whatever your entertainment is, I'm totally against that. I'm like, no, you're wrong. And chances are they're saying that because they don't agree with what you're saying.
Right. There's a film that you guys should watch. It's called Soundtrack to the Coup d'etat. Soundtrack to the Coup d'etat. And what they did was they made these artists in America, the very prominent ones at that particular time, Louis Armstrong and some of the other people, made them ambassadors and flew them to Africa and other places in order to establish them so that the Alphabet Boys, I ain't trying to get your channel canceled. The Alphabet Boys, they come in and basically overthrow governments. But they did it through musicians.
Wow.
Yes. So if we like Terminator just said, once we politicized and spoke, used our platform to speak, that's when we became a target. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. If you was to get some of them redacted FBI files, don't tell nobody. Once you get them, hold them up to the light, you can see all the things that they redacted. You understand what I'm saying? So you'll see a whole bunch of people's names on there. And you didn't even know they were tapping your phone and watching you, and you was under surveillance. You understand what I'm saying? Why would there be a need to put Louis Armstrong under surveillance?
That's deep.
The man played a horn. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but once these people got too large and too big, they had to get rid of them. I.e., Bob Marley and a few other people.
Yeah, the list goes on and on.
Right.
You guys have any other?
Fela and some other people we can mention.
Yeah, I was just thinking about what you had said earlier. It's funny because, like, when we was traveling, like back then when I was always traveling with the Jungle Brothers, it's funny because one time we had stopped. We was on a tour bus, and I never forget. And I had flyers in my hands, and I was passing them out to the people, so they could come to the show. And I never forget. I passed it. I don't know what made me, me being nice, man, because I don't look at color. I gave one of the flyers to a white couple. So they looked at it, Jungle Brothers. I'm like, yeah, Jungle Brothers. What is that, nigga music? Like, I say, like, why you have to say that? I mean, it's just music. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like me saying, oh, if you pass me a fly, oh, Elvis Presley's going to be there. Oh, crackle music? I ain't saying that. Music is music.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So what you were saying, like when you was traveling, it kind of hit me because I remember that moment when they said that.
So real quick, Griff, if you remember, I remember times we would be on tour, and we'd be on a tour bus. We'd pull into a mall or something, and some folks would walk up to us and be like, "Who's on this bus? Is it the Backstreet Boys?"
Remember that?
Remember that? And we'd be like, yeah, that's the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
I understand why that hate all the time, It's
crazy, man.
But I think they're viewing it through a society that have set up a lens, right? And you can only see through that lens one way. They don't see what's coming back. You understand what I'm saying? This is why when Public Enemy and other groups came on the scene and held up a mirror to America so America could see itself. You understand what I'm saying? And then some of them same white people, children and relatives love hip hop.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, facts.
You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, you did run into early on a narrow-minded segment of a lot of people, especially black people in different cultures, different races. You understand what I'm saying? That looked at hip hop like it wasn't going to be around long. It was just, a fad.
Yeah, the older black community didn't really respect it either.
But it outlasted them. You understand what I'm saying? Because the ingredients that we put in music. Public Enemy set out to be political. Some groups just set out to have fun, kid and play. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But once they grew a platform and ended up in movies and this kind of thing, they could probably go to any college and command young people's attention. So back to your thing, Norm, all of it's political.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't, We gave birth and helped out Adidas when Run DMC won.
Yes.
So is that not business, good business, but political also? Do you understand what I'm saying? We've helped the clothing industry. We've helped the communication industry. Where would Techniques, Akai, Roland, and some of these companies that make these machines be if it wasn't for hip hop?
That's right. Well, they'd be there, but it wouldn't be as big as it is. Yeah.
I can go deeper than that. What would the movie Scarface be if it wasn't for hip hop? We picked it up and sampled some stuff and did some other stuff, and it came the movie that it is today. Because when it first came out, nobody checked for it. Go back and do the research. They didn't.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
We sampled a few things, and yeah,
it was snubbed. So Scarface was kind of snubbed in the pop world of movies. In fact, I would dare to say that the hip hop, our generation, picked up on it, and in fact, I own a limited edition version of Scarface, and they have interviews. They have listen. This is a release of the Scarface movie. They have interviews with Method Man and a couple of other rappers because they recognize that the hip hop crowd kind of that's a I don't know what the word is. That's a cult movie for the hip hop crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
You know when did they re-release? I went to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you talk about companies that actually prided themselves on marrying themselves on to hip hop, it was beneficial to them on the business tip.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It was a very real thing. People became millionaires and billionaires off of hip hop, and a lot of them don't look like us.
Yeah, and hip hop has become pop. It went from being not respected to it's going to last so long to now it's become one of the major, if not the prominent money maker. It's one of the prominent money makers in the music business.
What is going into 52 years already?
Yeah, but it's pop now. It's like it's considered pop now.
Yeah,
hip hop. You got your brothers like Tyler the Creator. You know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he's a pop rapper.
Yeah, no, he is.
I could be wrong.
But no, you're absolutely correct. Because a lot of us think that the labels now, the Spotify's and the labels that you can kind of sign on to, and you get digital downloads and you get paid pennies. These are the same people that was the other people that own the other labels. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. The analog labels. They just own they own it in the digital realm now. And they navigate and control and redirect algorithms. You understand what I'm saying? So they're in control of it. You understand? So it's going to be hard. It was hard enough to get our culture back and get a hold of it in the analog realm. Now in the digital realm, it's just out there. So it's hard. It's going to be harder to reel it back in. You understand what I'm saying? You can barely get your niece, nephew, cousins' attention because they got headphones on and they on this thing.
Gotcha.
So I say, why don't we just use this thing to reach them?
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah. Right now in the movie industry, the new thing 2 years ago, vertical shorts. You're going to be watching movies right here. Going to the movie experience is going to be a dead thing. Buttered popcorn and all that kind of stuff. Nah. I mean, you can order it, Grubhub, and they'll drop it off. But other than that,
because I can attest to that because Minor and myself, we subscribe to a movie theater. We pay a low amount of money. We can go to see as many movies as we want in a month. And I'm telling you, there's nobody in the theater.
Right. No one.
The theaters are largely empty. Like at best, we've seen maybe like at best on a great movie, we've 40-50% of the seats filled at best.
Okay,
at
so
best.
Now let's just say there's 1,000 movie theaters that are out there and nobody's going to the movies. What do y'all think? Now we're thinking forward now. What do you think they're going to use that space for? Why can't Spotify buy 100 of them? And now if you want to perform, you got to be an artist on Spotify.
Wow.
And now they got the theaters to show you a video, you perform the whole bit.
Yeah, but with this generation, they're going to look at it on their phone. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's a different. We're in a different time.
Yeah, man.
We're in a different time.
We're
just in a different time. Yeah.
I want to give some dap to the fans, to the family, to the people that buy my music and listen and support. I got to see you. I got to go outside.
Speaking of music, what are you working on anything right now?
As a matter of fact, yeah, I am. There's this guy named Terminator. I'm trying to do this little project with a little small EP to get some songs out to remind people of the sound that we used to make and just bringing it up to date. Yes. You understand? Not only that, I'm in a small band called the Soul Ohm Collective, in which I'm one of the writers, one of the producers, and I'm hooked up with some beautiful musicians. I play percussion, I write, do background vocals, that kind of thing. So I'm constantly kind of doing different things. I really want to do this next and last Professor Griff album, but I've been sitting on these lyrics for about 5 years. They may be outdated. You understand what I'm saying? Someone said to me, well, how are they outdated and no one ever heard them?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's old to me, but it's new to them.
Exactly.
I would say lyrics are never outdated. Sometimes the music can be outdated, but not the lyrics.
So it's a beautiful thing to just be a musician and to be able to sit in this seat every day and say, okay, let me see what I can come up with. You understand what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And then not have to prove myself over and over and over to people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for example, not mentioning any names, there's about 5 artists, good artists, talented, respected artists that put out projects recently that I just did not like, but they put out and continued their body of work. I'm not going to like everything. I'm trying to convince this guy Norma that, look, we need to get that body of work out because it speaks to where we are now. It don't necessarily have to be quote unquote good. That's subjective. You understand what I'm saying? They need to hear my voice. They need to hear his scratching. They need to see what we can do together. You understand what I'm saying? This aspect of 2 of the members of Public Enemy that help establish that. They want to hear from us. You understand what I'm saying? That's in my spirit right now.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Yes. We're going to make that happen. We're going to stay on his ass, man.
Really
got you, Griff. We got you.
Hey,
man, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you need to call me, my number is 678-557-2919. You understand what I'm saying? And if you need to borrow my belt for him, just let me know, man.
I need a good whooping.
Yeah.
Hey, man, so look, we appreciate you, man. Let everybody know how you can be reached on social media, man, and all that good stuff.
You could just hit me up at Professor Griff everywhere. I just gave you all my number. Let me give it to you again, 678-557-2919. I hit the reset button a minute ago. Had some tendons reset. I did some acupuncture, some cupping, some meditation, some grounding, some centering. I hit the reset button. I'm trying to catch up with this 65-year-old thing. I ain't moving like I used to. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm taking it a lot slower and I'm being more intentional. And what I always say to people, and I want to thank y'all 3. What's the other brother's name? Where he at?
Malik.
I want to thank y'all, especially you, Terminator, for allowing me to come on to be my true, authentic 65-year-old self. I'm not the same dude I used to be. You understand what I'm saying?
None of us are.
Thank you. Exactly. Really appreciate you guys.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, man. Once again, thank you for joining us. Terminator Xperience Podcast, Terminator Exit. We out. Peace.
Thank you.
All right, get back.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Terminator Xperience Podcast, hosted by DJ DVS, Minor, and the legendary Terminator X. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and tap in with us on social media for clips, updates, and behind the scenes. Until next time, keep the culture first, keep the sound heavy, and keep it locked right here.